Hello everybody and welcome, I am Boom, and today we're going to see if I can beat the game Pokemon FireRed with only a single Beyblade, Hitmontop. Hitmontop is the evolution of Tyro, introduced in Gen 2 alongside him, and aside from having a really fun game in Pokemon Stadium 2, it's one that I feel like hasn't had too much attention since then, aside from its awful 3D sprite, animation, whatever. I mean, why make a Pokemon with a top for a head if you're not going to primarily keep it there? Another huge issue for this Pokemon, just horrible 3D design aside, is the fact that the moveset is kind of garbage. You learn your standard fighting moves, and we learn Earthquake, but beyond that, nothing too great. Hitmontop has a pretty decent attack and defense, though its special attack is pretty bad. Special defense is actually great, and its speed and HP are at least passable, though admittedly I prefer more HP in a run like this. We're going to go ahead and give the rival Charizard, since it can also have flying moves by the last fight, so that'll probably be the hardest for us to face. As we grab our Beyblade, we name him 3, since this is the 3rd out of 14 runs that the community is going to vote on. After I finish all these runs, I'll probably go back and select the losers out of every poll and do a run with those, so they still get used, just not as soon as those who won did. For our ability, we have the Intimidate ability, which is one of the best abilities, though truthfully I would have preferred Technician. But as you know, if you've watched these, 9 times out of 10, I don't reset to get a good nature or the ability that I want. We also have a hasty nature, which means increased speed, but decreased defense. I think we can live with that. The beginning lab rival battle is easy overall. Revenge is pretty powerful, and Rolling Kick can also do solid damage when it connects, which it does both times, winning us a simple battle. Now we're going to go ahead and make our way through the beginning of the game, doing a little bit of leveling. Main reason is once we get to the forest, there's a lot of poison types in there that we're not going to do much damage to, so we need the extra bulk. We'll probably skip the primary Weedle and Kakuna trainer though, but first, we'll see if we can beat the optional rival fight. The rival first sends out Pidgey, and it uses Sand Attack as we smack it with Revenge to not quite half. A Rolling Kick takes it to red and flinches it, and then we can go ahead take it out. Charmander is out, and we miss our first attack, and it scratches us, and we take it to almost half. We spend a few turns missing before taking it down with a Revenge to win the battle, and that lets us move on, though admittedly we didn't need it to move on. It's just nice to get that early game EXP, especially when we have to skip some of the trainers that I usually fight every single run. Alright, so we'll be able to go ahead and head back through the forest, avoid those trainers that we don't want to fight, and also get to the first gym. I think we'll be just fine, even if our level is a little bit lower than usual. Brock starts with Geodude, and we get hit with a weak tackle. After missing our first attack, we do take it to yellow, and then the next turn we can knock it out. From there, it's only the Onix, and it hits a weak tackle as we take it to almost half. It takes us to what looks to be exactly half. We knock it to yellow, then knock it out to take the first badge. Now, as we travel ahead, it's at this time I'd like to remind you to give that like button a little tippy tap. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, you should. We're working on watch hours, and at the time of writing this, the kiddo is 2 weeks out from returning school. Once he goes back, I'm going to work on some slightly harder runs, and I think I'm going to do a video swapping gym leaders' home regions. Since Johto and Kanto are the main games directly connected, we'll be placing the Kanto gym leaders in Johto and giving them some brand new Pokemon teams, and then the Johto gym leaders will be moved to Kanto with brand new Pokemon. On a side note, we do have memberships to the channel, and we only need one more to get some additional emotes, but I'm not too pressed about that. Join the Discord and you can just get access there. Lastly, and then I'll get back to what you came here for, the Helix fossil is actually banned in these runs, and the Dome fossil is the only one that matters. So, with that being said, and after grabbing the wildly inaccurate Mega Kick for the next battle, it's time for us to move to that next fight. The rival starts off with Pidgeotto, and we open with Pursuit to test damage. It doesn't do much as Sand Attack hits, so we take it to red. Then miss as the second Sand Attack connects. We then miss again before taking it down, though we're already nearly half HP. Abra can't do anything, so that's a free knockout. Rattata's thankfully a one-shot after it hits us, and we do replace Mega Kick with Quick Attack, The raw power of Mega Kick is nice, but with the accuracy being what it is, having a priority move that is 100% accurate is needed. Charmander is the next, uses Ember, and burns us, so we actually end up getting taken down. The next battle, we end up making it back to the Charmander with a lot more health, one less sand attack, and once more replacing Mega Kick. This time the Charmander comes out, hits us, and we get a critical hit revenge to take it out. Neat. Alright, so we'll go ahead, go to the route to the north, because honestly, I think that we'll need the levels for Misty. It's not that our typing and our stats are all that bad, it's just that Starmie knows Recover. And with us not rocking much utility to be able to take it down with super effective moves, yeah, we need that bulk. So we'll go ahead, challenge Misty after the bridge, and see how things go. Misty first sends out Staryu, and it opens with Harden, and we use Revenge to take it to red. This is the best case scenario since Misty heals up, and we ping it with Quick Attack, then swap back to Revenge. It does use Recover, but our Revenge takes it back to red, so that we can swap over to Quick Attack and knock it out. Starmie is next, it opens with Water Pulse, and we use Pursuit, hitting it with a crit. Water Pulse connects again, and we take it to almost red. A Quick Attack leaves it with a Sliver, but then a crit takes us down. We do try this again, we just need a little more oomph, so we grab the nearest rare candy, face the rocket outside the dig house, and then try again. Staryu now goes down on one shot despite hitting us with Water Pulse, and then with Starmie, we take it to red as it hits with Water Pulse, but next turn we can take it down. We were able to win, only needing one level. Honestly, probably didn't even need that level, but the extra power against Staryu is definitely helpful. So what we'll go ahead and do is head south, and then go ahead and board the ship. We don't need to worry about fighting too many of the trainers, but we do want to make sure to grab Brick Break. We could buy this later if needed, but honestly getting it now is going to help us through the next portion of the game. So with the ship basically cleared of what we need, we can go ahead and attempt the next rival fight. Pidgeotto's up first, and Gust hits us as we use Revenge to take it down in one clean shot. Next up is Kadabra, and if it outspeeds, it could be an issue as we take it to red with Quick Attack. It only uses Disable, which doesn't work, and then it goes down. Then you have Raticate, and a Rolling Kick takes it down. Charmeleon is next, and Rolling Kick takes it to yellow, and then we can take it down with a Quick Attack to knock it out and win the battle. With that out of the way, we can show the captain a little love, Dr. Boom style, and then we can go to fight Surge. Now, I don't think Surge will be a problem unless we spend a dozen turns paralyzed, but that's totally never happened. Nope, totally hasn't happened in the last few runs. Trash cans are defeated, and then it's time to fight the man ourselves. Voltorb is first, and we open with Brick Break, taking it down in one go. Pikachu is up next, and we take it down, and that doesn't proc static, so we're good. Last but not least is Raichu, and we Brick Break again, taking it to red. But static does activate, making its Thunder Wave basically redundant. Surge heals, and we use Brick Break again, taking it down to win the battle and the badge. Alright, so with that out of the way, with a move upgrade under our belt to boot, it's time for us to go ahead and head through the next part of the game. The cave will be easy enough for us to knock out, given the fact that we have some fighting moves, but the Slowpoke are actually a bit harder. As we move into Celadon, honestly, we're not going to be able to upgrade much more. If you remember when we looked at Hitmontop's moveset at the beginning, and I'll put it up again here, aside from fighting moves and maybe Earthquake, there isn't much we can learn. And unfortunately, we gotta keep Pursuit, because guess what? We still gotta fight Agatha later. Agatha is someone that I'm honestly not 100% sure if we're gonna be able to beat, but that's also a ways down the road. We now have to fight Erica, who technically resists all of our moves as well. Why didn't they ever make elemental kicks except for Blaziken's Blaze Kick? Victory Bell's up first, and we immediately get paralyzed off Stun Spore, which is not great. Giga Drain does a good bit of damage, and we stay paralyzed, also not great. The next turn, we do manage to take it to about half with Revenge, and then Giga Drain heals it back up a bit as we nail it with a crit to take it down. As Tangela comes out, it does some decent damage, and we can take it to yellow, then knock it out with Quick Attack. Last up is Vileplume, and Giga Drain takes us to 11 HP, so if we get a crit, oh, that's not much damage at all. Yeah, we go down. Let's try Giovanni instead, because that should be fine, right? Giovanni opens with Onix, and we start with Brick Break, taking it down in one go. Rhyhorn is next, and Brick Break is able to take it down in one shot as well. Then you have Kangaskhan, and Brick Break takes it to red as it uses a Tail Whip before going down. So what we'll do is we'll head back to Erica and see how things go. We did gain a couple levels when fighting through the game quarter, so hopefully that little extra firepower will be enough. Absolute worst case scenario, we can go back to the tower, fight the rival, and then go through the entire tower. There aren't a lot of fights, but it is enough to get probably 1 to 2 levels and also still be progressing the game at the same time. So with Victory Bell, we now use Return because we need the upgrade from Quick Attack, taking it below half as it misses Poison Powder, and then we take it down. Next out is Tangle, and as always, it hits horrible, so 2 returns can knock it out. Finally, you have Vileplume, and Return takes it to a bit below half as it also misses its Status Powder attack, so we're able to knock it out. That wins us the battle, the badge, and lets us move on. With Erica out of the way, we do have to go ahead and move back to the tower and fight the rival. And once we do that, we'll go ahead and take a look at the mid-game review of how Hitmontop is doing. Pidgeotto's first, and we open with Return, taking it to red as it uses Sand Attack, but we can just take it down. Execute is next, and we use Return, taking it to red as it thankfully misses Hypnosis. We do miss our next attack, and Confusion does a little chunk of damage before we take it down. Kadabra is next, and we use Return again, taking it down in one shot. Then, it's out to Gyarados, and Return goes to almost half as Thrash does solid damage with a critical hit. The next attack takes it to a Sliver, and we get taken to 33 HP before taking it down. Last but not least, his Charmeleon is out, and Brick Break misses. Ember connects, and then the next turn, we take it down with a crit that probably was needed due to Intimidate from the Gyarados, winning us the battle. Alright, so now that that's out of the way, we'll go ahead, do some travel, and as always, we'll talk about how Hitmontop is doing. And if we're being honest, Hitmontop is mid at best. The lack of moveset is definitely dragging us down because that just gives us a distinct lack of coverage. I think as we go into the back half of the game, Koga, he'll be an issue given the fact that he resists our fighting attacks. Then you have Blaine, and he has 2 Intimidate Pokemon. That'll probably be an issue as well. So for now, we'll clear out this part of the game and try Koga. Worst case scenario, we can clear out Silphco, gain a few levels and vitamins that way. And if that doesn't work, well, at that point, we'll probably have to level up. No sense in too much speculation, though. At the very least, I am going to go ahead and kind of re-mention that video that I have working on. If there are other gens that you want to see swapped with others, let me know. The more ideas that I have and the more people that I know are interested in something like this, the easier it is for me to make something out of it. So for example, Falconer would be the first gym that you would find in Kanto, but he would still keep his flying typing. Let me know what regions, again, that you would want to see, especially if you've made it to the halfway point of the video. Koga first starts with Coughing, and we open with Return, banking on our physical attack as we take it to yellow, and we get hit with Smoke Screen before taking it down. Next is Muck, and we don't take it to half as we get hit with Toxic. We do use Brick Break, wanting to avoid landing it in healing range, which we succeed in, but then the Toxic damage actually ramps up so much that when we take the Muck down and the Coughing comes out, the Toxic damage finishes us off. So we do try this a handful of times, and ultimately it's ending the same way. Toxic isn't supposed to be 100%, but I'm fairly certain that when the opponent uses it against me specifically, it definitely is. So what we'll go ahead and do is head to Silphco. Now, normally we would try to probably fight the rival first to see if we can get past it, but honestly, that doesn't even enter my mind this time around. I immediately start taking out the trainers, and then afterwards we'll go ahead and attempt the rival fight. If that goes south, we'll see if we have a better shot at Koga, now that we've leveled up some. So, let's fast forward to the rival. The rival sends out Pidgeot, and we open with Return, taking it to yellow as we get hit with Wing Attack, then we take it down. Next up is Execute, and we do solid damage with Pursuit, but it paralyzes us with Stun Spore. We do stay paralyzed the next 2 turns and then take it down. Then as Alakazam comes out, it sets up Future Sight, and we take it down with a single return. Charizard, however, does outspeed, and it puts a quick end to this attempt. Again, we try a couple times. It's not going anywhere. If we get Feather Danced, our attempt is dead before it even starts, and then by the time that we get to the Charizard on attempts that doesn't happen, too much of our health has been whittled away. However, if I remember correctly, Koga's badge boosts defense, so let's see if we can go ahead and beat him now. Coughing comes out, and Return is able to take it to red as we get hit with Sludge, and then Koga heals up. We take it back to red, and then we can knock it out. So far, so good. Muck comes out, and we use Return, taking it to yellow, and it just uses Minimize, and we miss, naturally. Sludge connects, and we miss again, then Sludge, and we miss, before finally connecting with our attack and taking it down. His next coughing comes out and we take it to red as Sludge hits us, and Koga heals up his coughing too. After the heal up though, we can take it down, leaving us with just wheezing. We use return, take it to half, and they get knocked out. Okay, I think we can do this, and the very next attempt, we don't miss 100 times against Muck after it sets up minimize, so we take it down with plenty of health when coughing comes out. That's the same as before. And then as wheezing comes out, we take it to half, it uses smoke screen, and then the next return is able to take it to red before we take it down to win the battle. Now we'll head back to Silphco and see if that goes any differently. PGI goes to yellow, and it takes about a dozen attempts before it just attacks instead of feather dancing, but we do get hit before taking it down. Then you have Execute, who, as always, ends up paralyzing us before we take it down. Alakazam doesn't do much besides setting up a future sight, and then, unfortunately from there, Charizard just takes us out. Okay, well, let's try to see if Blaine will be able to treat us any better. With beating Koga, we're at least able to make our way there, but we might still end up losing. If that happens, that's when I'll probably go with the rare candy route, but man, I feel like I've been talking a lot in this video. On a side note though, these new golden Sriracha Doritos are really good. Oh yeah, it's time to fight Blaine. Blaine first starts with Growlithe, and we intimidate each other, and we Brick Break it to take it down in one shot. Ponyta's up next, and we take it to yellow as it misses Fire Spin. Blaine does heal up, and we take it back to yellow, then knock it out. Rapidash comes out, and we take it to yellow as Fire Blast connects, and we take it down. Next up is Arcanine. We get intimidated again, doing about a fifth of its health with Brick Break, as we get taken to 38 HP, burned, and that cuts our attack again to the point that we barely do anything before we get taken down. The very next attempt, we make it back to the Arcanine without any problem, except this time, we Brick Break, and the Arcanine misses its Fire Blast. We swap to Revenge because we want that raw power. As we take it to low yellow, Blaine doesn't heal up, so Brick Break is able to take it down, winning us the badge. That's one more badge down. Can we please beat the Silphco rival now? Normally, I don't go out of order like this because it feels low-key kind of wrong, but I'm thankful that we're at least able to if needed. Pidgeot is up first, and we open with Return, taking it to red, then taking it down after a wing attack. Then, as Execute comes out, we take it to red. It misses Stun Spore, and then we can take it down from there. As Alakazam comes out, it's a one-shot as well with Return. Charizard is next, and we actually get a much-needed crit 2 battles in a row to take it down. Gyarados then comes out, and we take it to right around half as it uses Leer, and then we can take it out, finally winning us the battle and allowing us to move on. Giovanni is our next fight, and Nidorino is his first Pokemon, which immediately goes down a one-shot. Then you have Nidoqueen, and we take it to about half as it only responds with Double Kick before we take it down. Kangaskhan is next. It goes down pretty quickly, and the same can be said about Rhyhorn, and that wins us the battle, letting us move on to Sabrina. Now, I will be honest, if Sabrina outspeeds, this could actually be an issue. Assuming that she actually attacks, which 9 times out of 10, for whatever reason, she just doesn't. Sabrina first sends out Kadabra, and we open with Return, and we're able to one-shot it. Then, we can also do the same thing to Mr. Mime. Alakazam is our next Pokemon, and is also a one-shot. And then finally, it's out to Venomoth, and we can take it down pretty quickly as well to win the battle and the badge. Alright, so now we can go ahead and go to Giovanni and finish off the last of the gym battles. Now, after we beat the rival, we can go ahead and cover how Hitmontop will do against the Elite Four, and y'all, I don't think it's going to be super great for us, but let's go ahead and do Giovanni first. Giovanni starts with Rhyhorn, and we can go ahead and take it down with a Brick Break. Next out is Dugtrio, and we swap over to Return, taking it down. You have Nidoqueen, who is next, and we use Return, taking it to yellow as Earthquake does some decent damage before we take it down. Nidoking comes out and also goes to yellow as it hits Earthquake before we take it down. And then finally you have his other Rhyhorn, and it goes down in one shot, winning us the battle. Now, I'm gonna be honest. We've covered a good bit of losses in the video. And spoiler alert, we still have some more that we're going to be covering as we get into the Elite Four. We can usually get to the rival's Charizard without much of an issue, but more often than not, we get taken down by it. Given the fact that it has both fire and flying moves at its disposal, it's kind of rough for us. So, what I'm going to go ahead and do is just level up. I'm sorry, but this video is already going on probably a pretty good amount of time. So all the way at level 65 and about 5 attempts in, this happens. Pidgeot goes to yellow and hits us with a wing attack before it goes down. Then, with Alakazam, we can outspeed and one-shot it as well. Charizard comes out, and we actually take it out due to a crit, which, funny, because that's the way I've taken it down the last 2 times. The scrambled eggs go to red, paralyze us, and do get off a solar beam before going down. Gyarados, we take about a third of its health as it sets up Rain Dance, hits us with Hydro Pump, but we actually get a critical hit next turn to take it down and win the battle. Now, we're able to go ahead, head to Victory Road, and do a little bit of theory crafting. For Lorelei, it all kind of depends on if we're going to one-shot our Pokemon or not. We'll be doing super effective damage, so this could honestly be hit or miss. With Bruno, I don't think Bruno will be too much of an issue. The Onix will be easy and will be neutral to the other Pokemon. But then you have Agatha, and honestly, that's going to be rough. The only move that we can learn to hit her is Pursuit, and our special is basically garbage. And then there's Lance, and honestly, that's not going to go very well for us either, if I had to guess. Most of his Pokemon, they're not bothered much by fighting attacks, and then the final rival, I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on if we got to level up or not. So, let's go ahead and fight Lorelei. Lorelei first starts off with Dugong, and we open with Brick Break, taking it down in one shot. Next up is Slowbro, and we go to return, doing about a third of its health as it uses Yawn. We do snooze a turn or two before we wake up and take it down without too much trouble. Cloyster comes out, and we swap back to Brick Break to take it to yellow as it only sets up spikes. Lorelei heals up and we take it back to yellow, and Cloyster wastes turns with Protect before we take it down after the stall battle. Next out is Jinx, and then we swap back to Return, taking it to red with Return, and then Lorelei does heal up before we hit it again, and then knock it out. Then finally you have Lapras, and Brick Break actually is a critical hit to take it down, winning us the battle. So let's go ahead and go to Bruno, and we'll see how things go from there. Bruno starts off with both of his Onix, and they are a one-shot each, though they each manage to land an Earthquake before going down. Hitmonchan misses its Rock Tomb, so we actually take it down. Then with Hitmonlee, it fires off a pretty hard-hitting Mega Kick before we take it to red. Now Bruno does heal up a few times before we get to take it down. And then with Machamp, we take it to red as it hits a Rock Tomb and lowers our speed, but then we actually get a crit to take it down and win the battle. Alright, let's move on to Agatha. I got a sinking feeling about this. Gengar is first, so we use Pursuit doing, well, we did damage as it begins to double team. We do get confused, and despite that, we actually managed to do some decent damage to it, taking it to red as Agatha heals up. We do manage to take it down not too long after that. Golbat is next, so we take it below half as it misses its attack, so we could just take it down. She sends out Haunter. It uses Mean Look, but then it puts us to sleep before we can take it down, and then it uses Dream Eater, and that absolutely wrecks us. We do try this quite a few times, but sadly it's just not going anywhere. As always, what I'll do is I'll show an attempt or two as we get beaten into the ground, but for now we're gonna have to level up just to get a decent chance at this particular battle. Now, one thing that we do is actually we swap out the Quick Claw for the black glasses that we grabbed way back when. This, along with our level ups, should give Pursuit at least a little bit of a boost. This takes ages, by the way. So we're just going to go ahead and fast forward. All the way at level 90, we could take Gengar to around half, and then the next turn, we're able to go ahead and take it down. Golbat comes out, and we take it down with a critical hit return. Then you have Haunter, and we take it to low yellow as it uses Mean Look. Agatha does heal up once or twice, but we could just take it down. The next Gengar goes to yellow and puts us to sleep before hitting us with a few Sludge Bombs, but we wake up and take it down. Arbok then comes out, we take it to yellow as it hits with a Sludge Bomb and poisons us, but thankfully we can take it down next turn. Oh, thank goodness that's over. Let's go ahead and we'll move on to Lance. Lance first sends out Gyarados, and we take it to yellow as it uses Dragon Rage, and then we can take it down. Aerodactyl goes to a bit below half, and it uses Scary Face before we take it down with Brick Break. Dragonite goes to not quite half, and it hits us with Wing Attack. We do take it to almost red, and it uses Hyper Beam, taking us to yellow, but we can go ahead and take it down during that recharge. After that, Dragonair goes to red, uses Safeguard, and Lance does heal up a few times before we take it down. Last but not least is the last Dragonair, and we take it to red. It paralyzes us, sets up Safeguard, but then it goes down, winning us the battle. That means that we only have one more battle to go. The rival starts with Pidgeot, and we take it to red as the rival heals. Then we take it back to red and knock it out. Next up is Alakazam, and return hits for a clean one-shot. You have Charizard, and we use return, taking it to yellow as Fire Blast connects for a good chunk of damage. The berry takes it out of healing range, and then we can take it down. Then, Exeggutor is next, and we take it to yellow as it misses Sleep Powder, knocking it out. You have Rhydon out, and we use Brick Break on it, taking it down a one-shot. And then finally you have Gyarados, and return takes it almost half as it uses Dragon Rage. We use Pursuit to keep it out of healing range, and it uses Thrash, taking us to 23 HP, before another return finishes it off, winning us the battle and the run. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed that particular run with this Beyblade. It's the first time I've been able to use this Pokemon. And, fun fact, next week's run has already been decided for the community. We tried about a year ago, Generation 1 with a Chikorita, but this time the community wants to see us try with Cyndaquil. Now, I gotta record this, and my goal is to use this weekend to get about 30 shorts done. Since I don't have any plans after 8 p.m. Friday, it's 11:23 Thursday, so hopefully I can go ahead and get a lot of this edited within the next hour or so I can post it at a somewhat reasonable time. For now, though, summer is coming to a close, spooky season is upon us, and, as always, if you like the video, even if you didn't like the video, hit the like and subscribe button, because it really does help me out. And until next time, everybody, peace out!